Discuss is foreign affairs correspondent from the Washington Examiner, Tim Narazi. Tim, nice to have you back on the program. Look, pretty stiff words from the president. He said you got until, well, now a week from Friday. It's good narrative. It's a good line to lay down, but does it really get anything done, honestly?
Sorry, I think I'm here to talk about education reform, but I'm not Tim. I'm Tommy. Sorry.
Oh, my mistake. Let's talk about that then. Tommy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
They bait and switched us here. It's all right. All right, let's talk education reform. Let's talk about the end of the Department of Education. Let's talk about the National Education Association and the rest. Where do you want to begin?
Yeah, look, with the election of President Trump in November, it really put us on a path where we could eliminate the department, make reforms to student loans, and improve for students their test scores. And I think what the last administration did was a complete travesty with the student loan debt forgiveness plan that they had, where they essentially wanted to say, hey, if you took out all of this debt, the federal government and taxpayers are just going to wipe it away without questions. So President Trump, the Congress, and Secretary McMahon, they made a lot of progress to change it. But luckily, there are a couple of other alternatives out there that are still baked into the law that the president hasn't addressed yet. So we're hopeful that the president and the Congress will address it.
All right, so back during the Biden administration, we talked a lot about student loan forgiveness. It came, it went, it came, it went. Where are we going forward? Is any of it going to be forgiven? Well, some of it was forgiven, not really official. It's going to be clawed back. Look, there's a lot of money owed by a lot of people for all useless degrees out there. What do you say?
Yeah, it's true. So the biggest driver that we're focused on right now is called the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. It was a law created about 20 years ago, and it says if you work for a government, state, local, or federal, or work for a nonprofit, you get all of your debt forgiven within 10 years, after 10 years of payments. That's not exactly fair. And then when you dig into the numbers, it shows that the average borrower has $80,000 wiped away. It costs about $3 billion a year, $30 billion over the course of that 10-year period. So it's a very expensive program, and we just think that there's a total unfairness within the law. You could be a working class individual waiting tables without a college degree, probably making half of that a year, and instead you have someone working behind a keyboard getting $80,000 wiped away. It's totally unfair, and I think as the Republican Party becomes the party of the working class, we need to change that.
All right, so let me ask you this thing. The Department of Education, as we proceed through all this, the Department of Education came to be, I believe, in 1979. It has spent God unknown amounts of money for test scores to get worse, for kids to be dumber. I mean, look, Johnny can't read and Susie can't write, and we got problems in America. So where do we go from here? Does the Department of Education get completely dissolved, or will there be a remnant there that the Democrats can rebuild if they get a chance?
Yeah, that's something we need to be totally cautious of. And I think the president has put it on a path to where they're going to break off parts of the department and go to other places. Student lending, for example, might go to the Small Business Administration. So I think we just need to get the government out of the way completely. And that's why we're working on proposals to change student loan lending to ensure that we eliminate taxpayer-funded bailouts for student lending. We need to make sure that that does not continue in the future. And the way we look at it is if you eliminate the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, you save $30 billion a year. Or if you can't even get that, there are a number of potentially bipartisan solutions to significantly cut down on how much taxpayers have to fork over, whether it's income requirements or the defined benefit contribution plans. There are a number of alternatives on the table. We just don't think we should be subsidizing people to sit behind computers, make minimum payments for 10 years, and then have $80,000 of their debt wiped away. It's totally unfair.
It is totally unfair. It's remarkable, in fact, the bad performance that we get from the Department of Education, all the squandered money. We're used to that in the government, but there are times when you can stop and say, look, we're going to be done with this. So there is a plan to go forward to eliminate this. I think it's a good plan for the country. And Tommy, I appreciate you being here for the National Taxpayers Union. Sorry about the confusion a moment ago. Glad to have you here. We'll see you again soon, all right? All right, there you go. We're going to take a break and